When we come with that heat, we got skip on the.
Episode $42 Million Radio. Welcome back in, everybody, and welcome back into the studio, Griffin. Welcome back in, Griffin.
Oh yeah,
hell yeah. So, a lot happened this week. We had a lot of games that went into overtime in college football and even in the NFL. And the Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers last night. For the rest of the season, there's going to be wins, losses, and then one tie on their record. They're going to be stuck with that for the rest of the season.
NFL, y'all need to leave ties to the Europeans, all right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know if they used to always. I think they used to always do they've always done the ties, you know.
I think college used to do it too,
but with the NFL, they've changed up. They've changed up the overtime rules and stuff in the NFL. Think back to that playoff game, Kansas City and Buffalo. Josh Allen didn't even get a chance to have the ball in overtime. That's when they started doing the each team has one possession, just a 10-minute period. I think it used to be 15 minutes. I really do. But anyways, so yeah, Dallas Green Bay tied last night. I'm still rocking the Jordan Love shirt because of his fantastic game. He just absolutely owns the Cowboys. A lot of my friends that are Cowboys fans, whenever Jordan Love, we got rid of Aaron Rodgers and it's Jordan Love's time, they're like, oh, y'all don't have no Aaron Rodgers to help save you anymore for us to be worried about. Yeah, we got Jordan Love, buddy. And he had a great game. Dak had a great game last night. Ended up in a tie, 40-40. So, yeah, that was a late one. Did you watch the whole game, Griff? Did you watch that?
See, I was watching bits and pieces, and my biggest takeaway, honestly, I don't think Dallas is that bad. I hate to say it.
I think
even after losing Micah Parsons, they still, they gave up 40 points, but
yeah, well, so did the Packers.
Yeah.
The offense definitely looked good with no CD Lamb. George Pickens had a monster game last night. Dak had a monster game last night. Neither defense could stop a nosebleed. It was, if you liked fireworks, if you liked offense, last night was the game for it. Although, Griffin, I got a bone to pick with my teams this week. Tennessee and Green Bay. When it came down to the last drive, game on the line, time management was an issue. Did you see the very end of the game?
Not the very end.
So what happened last night was Green Bay got the ball. I think it was about 4 minutes to go or so. Dallas in the overtime period took it all the way down the field. Luckily for Green Bay, didn't score a touchdown, but they did kick a field goal to take a 3-point lead in overtime. Green Bay got the ball with like 4 minutes left and drove all the way down the field. It was a great drive. And then once we got, around the 10 or so, we just were playing for a tie. We ran a play, clock was running, play ended with 22 seconds left. Jordan Love snapped the ball with, I think, 7 seconds left. They had an extra timeout. They didn't get to use it because they ran another play, and that play ended up an incompletion with 1 second on the clock, giving Green Bay enough time to at least tie the game. Luckily enough, it wasn't a loss after that just botched situation there at the end. You could tell they were trying to run no huddle, hurry up, get back to the line. Nobody knew what the play was. Nobody knew what to do. They were not lining up quick and wasted a good 15 seconds off the clock. Like I said, they had a timeout. They could have called the timeout with 22 seconds left and still had 2 or 3 shots at the end zone and then maybe settle for a tie. But yeah. Also, Tennessee did the same thing in regulation where they were putting a drive together and were just wasting the clock with timeouts in their pocket. So
See, what was it? We got the ball back with like a minute and 30 seconds left and just let that first 30 seconds just.
Yeah. Yeah, and I understand you want the ball as time expires in that situation. You want to be the last one to have a shot. That game was tied at that point. We'll get to the Tennessee-Mississippi State game here in just a second. But, yeah, overall, great, entertaining weekend. Public Fades went 3-1 over the weekend. So shout out anybody that watched Public Fades. Shout out
smart
to
man.
Yeah, you know, I try to be sometimes. Shout out to everybody that joined the live with me on Saturday night. Griffin was one of them. Thanks for watching that. That was a lot of fun. I'll probably look to continue doing that in the coming weeks. But yeah, it was a very good week, very entertaining weekend of football through the college and NFL ranks. As far as the scores for college football, we saw Virginia take down Florida State Friday night. That score was after 2 overtimes, 46-38. And we all saw the viral moment that happened afterwards when the Virginia State fans were basically already on the field as that play was ending. Yeah, I was talking about this in the live, Griff. How do you feel about, you know, one, the field storming was cool, but two, what does Virginia have to do to keep those people off the field? Because, you know, that student section is up on a grassy plain, a little hill that goes up, and they had no precautions to be able to keep people back, keep pushing them back. It seemed like there was 1,000 students right there and probably 5 security guards trying to hold everybody back.
It looked like they had like this thin line of caution tape holding them back.
Yeah, well, it didn't do nothing. So
you gotta put a wall up, Virginia. Somebody's gonna get killed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm still trying to find out if they found Squirrel White after that one. He was the target into the end zone for Florida State there at the end. And the ball was picked off, and as soon as it hit the defender's hands, you know, students were already storming the field. But figured out Virginia. That was a great game, though. Shout out to the Cavaliers taking down Florida State. Florida State's got a big one this weekend, hosting Miami Saturday night. Ohio State defeated Washington 24-6. Didn't get any eyes on that game, but looks like the Buckeyes did enough to take care of business. One that I did have my eyes on, Oregon and Penn State went into 2 overtimes on Saturday night. Oregon ended up victorious 30-24 over the Nittany Lions. And that was one that we were watching with the chat live Saturday night as that game came to an end. I didn't see exactly how Penn State tied it up there at the end, but with about 30 seconds to go, they scored a touchdown, tied at 17. And went into overtime. Oregon scored. No, it was Penn State that scored first. They had the ball first. Drew Aller came out. They scored in a few plays, and then Oregon tied it back up. That would have made it 24-24. And then Oregon scored on the first play of the second overtime, but failed the 2-point conversion to go up by 6, 30-24, which ended up being the final after Drew Aller threw a terrible interception in the first play of that second overtime for Penn State. So Oregon moves on. They move up in the polls. Penn State drops to number 7. Ole Miss defended home field against LSU 24-19.
I called it.
Yeah, Griffin called a couple this weekend. So shout out. But did you get any eyes on that one as well?
I watched a little bit of it, but I had my full attention to the Tennessee-Mississippi State game at that time.
Yeah, it was going on at the same time. I didn't really get to watch that one as much. LSU went up early in that game, but didn't go up by much.
Well, see, they went up early, but honestly, that first touchdown they scored was just luck. If you saw the highlights from that one, it was like a deflection off a defender.
Oh yeah,
diving into the end zone, catching it, barely getting a foot in.
Yeah. So LSU does lose in that one. Ole Miss was the favorite, and I didn't think but before the game, I didn't think they should have been the favorite, but -2.5 was the line. They won and covered 24-19. Another game Saturday night that we had our eyes on in the chat, Alabama and Georgia, 24-21 win in between the hedges for the Tide. And Ty Simpson had a great game and has now entered the Heisman Trophy candidate chat. So shout out Ty, great job, great win for Alabama on Saturday night, taking down Georgia. Tough win on the road for Alabama, but they were able to secure victory there on that last drive. We tuned in on the chat with like 2.5 minutes to go. Alabama was backed up inside their own 20, put a drive together. It was 3rd and 1 at their own 20, and Ty Simpson did a quarterback sneak, put the ball up over the line, and got the first down. But then as the play was blown dead, a Georgia defender just supermaned on top of the pile and picked up a 15-yard personal foul that drove Alabama up 15 more yards closer to midfield, and that was pretty much all she wrote after that. Georgia had already used a timeout. Alabama was able to pick up one more first down. Jam Miller ran it down the sideline, stayed in bounds, slid. Alabama lined up in victory formation and went away with the win. Texas A&M over Auburn, 16-10. That line was 6.5, so Auburn with a slight cover. Didn't see that one, but looks like didn't miss much with that low-scoring affair. Indiana defeated Iowa 20-15. That line was Indiana minus 9.5, so Iowa with the cover at home in that one. Georgia Tech struggled with Wake Forest. That one went into overtime. A 1-point win for the Yellow Jackets, 30-29. Vanderbilt defeated Utah State 55-35. They were favored 23.5, I think was the line. They won by 20, so Utah State with the cover. Vandy's got Alabama this week. And I think you said maybe the first time ever that both of these teams have been ranked when they're facing each other.
Yeah.
So Vandy's going to have a tough game. They're not going to be able to put up 55 like they did against Utah State at Alabama this weekend. Utah State still scored 35, though. So that's going to be I think Alabama dogs them.
See,
I really do.
I was thinking of the viral clip from, what was that, 10 years ago? That offensive lineman from Vanderbilt talking about SEC football and how Alabama ain't ready. Well,
Yeah.
they might just whoop y'all again. I hate to say it, but y'all's defense don't look too good.
Yeah, Vanderbilt did let up a lot of yards and big plays, really, against Utah State. Alabama obviously fell to Vanderbilt in Nashville last year. That's when the Vandy fans stormed the field and then took down the goalpost, brought it down Broadway, just copying their big brothers here in Knoxville, but no worries on that one. Good luck this weekend, I guess. Illinois over USC 34-32. Big win for the Illini after falling in a huge, not upset, but blowout fashion against Indiana 2 weeks ago. Notre Dame absolutely dogged Arkansas on the road 56-13. And in the nightcap Saturday night, BYU over Colorado 24-21. So, Griff, let's take it to Starkville on Saturday. What are the vibes after coming away with a very, very tough road victory in overtime?
We need to work on stopping the run.
Yeah, we did mention in the pod last week at Dead End, Fluff Bothwell.
He's a dog.
He is. He finished with 23 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. Tennessee let up over 200 yards on the ground against Mississippi State Saturday, but started out with the 3-and-out. Great job defensively to open up the game. But then on that Mississippi State punt, Braylon Staley muffed it. Mississippi State got great field position after that. Fluff Bothwell ended up with a 5-yard touchdown to take the lead. Tennessee kicked a field goal after that. And then after the field goal on that ensuing drive, quarterback Blake Shapen dropped back and threw the ball, had the ball deflected right into the hands of Colton Hood, who returned it for a touchdown. Tennessee went up 10-7 at that point. And then on the next drive, Mississippi State had a big sack on first down, first play of that drive. but then ended up able to get past that and go all the way down the field for another 5-yard touchdown, this time for Devon Booth. Mississippi State took the lead 14-10 going into the second quarter, and then were able to kick a 50-yard field goal after that to go up by a touchdown. Roughing the passer on the next drive moved Tennessee along to a 15-yard TD from Aguilar to Brazzell. Brazzell had a great game and a great catch later on in that. I don't know if it ended up on SportsCenter Top 10 that night, but it should have. It was tied at 17 going into the half, a little bit of foreshadowing as it was also 17-17 in the second half. But Tennessee opened up with a field goal. Mississippi State scored with a 5-yard touchdown by Fluff Bothwell. 24-20 was that score at that point. And then on the next drive, that's when Aguilar threw a big bomb to Chris Brazzell, who came down with it, ran it all the way into the end zone, but was brought back due to a phantom offensive pass interference call. One of the
worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it was very ticky-tack. I don't like that, but also, like, maybe in live time, Brazzell did have his hands on the defender. The defender fell, so maybe in real time it, made the ref look at it in one light. But in that replay that we saw when they put it in slow motion, it looked like a terrible call. So Tennessee stalls after that one. Still down 24-20 at that point. Held Mississippi State to a 3-and-out before they ran a fake punt on a 4th and 7 and was able to pick up the first down. And I just felt like at that moment, the game was over. I felt like I've seen this movie before. There's no way we're winning. We kept Mississippi State in the game for too long. They were already up 24-20 at that point. They pick up that 4th down conversion, but on the very next play, Tyree West came and absolutely decapitated Blake Shapen. Shapen dropped the ball. It was scooped up by Joshua Josephs, who returned it for a touchdown. 27-24 lead for Tennessee before Mississippi State kicked another field goal to tie it up. Aguilar threw another pick off a deflection. The Bulldogs returned the ball to the 15 of Tennessee, setting up themselves inside the red zone already. Shapen was able to throw a touchdown pass off play action to retake the lead 34-27. But shout out Tennessee. Those were the last points after 34. Those were the last points that the Bulldogs scored. Tennessee got the ball back with 8 minutes remaining, 7:59 to be exact. They milked the clock all the way down past the 2-minute timeout. A great drive for Tennessee. This was the one where we did what we had to do. We commanded the ball. We drove it all the way down the field, took the time off, and was able to tie it up with a 7-yard touchdown run by Joey Aguilar. And I really like that play call as well. You overload the line of scrimmage on the right side with extra blockers. It's the short side of the field, 7 yards away from the goal line. Direct snap to the quarterback, keeps it on a run play. Instead of the quarterback handing the ball off, and you kind of just lose that blocker as the quarterback would be unaffected after in the play after that. You keep that running back with him. You have a lead blocker with all the tight ends that were set up out there, and Aguilar was able to squirt through and tie it up. But then, Tennessee defense makes a great stop, gives the ball back to the offense with 1:30 to go. And the play calling wasn't even bad, but the decision making, when you have 3 timeouts and then you milk the clock after the first play, you run 20 or 30 seconds off, and then end up not having enough time to be able to make something happen. You go into overtime with 2 timeouts in your back pocket. When you see that happen 2 weeks after you see how Tennessee ended up losing to Georgia instead of finishing the game off there at the end, there's no reason to have 2 timeouts left in your back pocket going in overtime, in my opinion. Luckily, and this was a point I made Saturday night on the live, luckily for us, we Georgia'd Mississippi State in that overtime period. the way Georgia did it to us in overtime 2 weeks ago in Neyland Stadium, scoring on the first play after holding us to a field goal. Tennessee scored on the first play, 25 yards down the sideline, Desean Bishop into the end zone to take a 41-34 lead. That was the final after Mississippi State moved the ball to first and goal, and then Tennessee held them out of the end zone 4 plays in a row. 41-34 final. Great win on the road, tough win on the road. We got to figure out how to be better prepared for these road games. That should have been an easy 10 to 14 point victory for Tennessee due to some mistakes, due to defense not really doing what they should have been able to do against Mississippi State's offense. 34 points is way too much to let up in my eyes.
We'll see. I think if that muff punt doesn't happen, it's a whole different game.
Maybe so. Joey Aguilar, 24 of 40 through the air, 335 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He also carried the ball 7 times, 21 yards, and that touchdown to tie the game up in the fourth quarter. Desean Bishop, 11 carries, 72 yards, and 1 touchdown. That came in overtime. Star Thomas, 10 carries, 33 yards. Out wide, receivers had a pretty good day, minus some big drops that they had. But Mike Matthews, 6 catches, 118 yards. That's a 19.7 average yardage. But 6 receptions, 105 yards for Chris Brazzell. 1 touchdown, 17.5 yard per catch average. Looked pretty good offensively, I'd say. 41 points on the road is nothing to scoff your head at or whatever, shake your head at. Colton Hood with the pick 6, Tyree West 2 sacks plus that forced fumble that was scooped and scored by Joshua Josephs. Caleb Herring with 1.5 sacks. Dominic Bailey with a big sack as well. For Mississippi State, Blake Shapen finished 18 of 29, 180 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Fluff Bothwell, like I said, 23 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Devon Booth with 17 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown. So, Griffin, what are your thoughts heading into the bye week after that big win on the road? Because it did end up being a big win for sure.
Yeah, I think this week in practice, Josh, you need to get all the running backs together. You need to get all the defensive linemen and linebackers together and just work on it for 4 hours a day.
Think so?
Because if we're going to beat Alabama, they can't run for 200 yards. If we're going to beat Oklahoma, they can't run for 200 yards. Hell, we can't beat Vandy if they run for 200 yards.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just, in the SEC, you got to stop the run.
Yeah. We do have Arkansas, I think, is the first game, and then maybe it's Oklahoma, then Alabama. I have to check. Arkansas will be at home after the bye week, but let me check that real quick just to make sure I don't want to say anything wrong.
Which, hey, don't overlook Arkansas either.
Yeah, for sure. We got Arkansas at home Saturday, October 11th. That is 2 weeks from now, and then on the road at Alabama before we go to Kentucky and then host Oklahoma November 1st. So, yeah, we got a lot to work on. Hopefully we get some injuries squared away. Maybe we see Jamad McCoy join the team, join that defense, help us outside, and he's very good at coming up and stopping the run as well. Tennessee is going to be looking for a big revenge game against Arkansas next weekend. So that'll be something that we will definitely have our eyes out for. But yeah, any big thoughts? What are your big thoughts for college football week 5, Griff? What stands out to you?
See, I noticed this in a couple games. It's kind of more of a joke than a real thing, but I think they need to make interceptions also a receiver, tight end, and running back stat.
Yeah. With
all of these deflection interceptions that I've seen that just plainly aren't the QB's fault. It doesn't matter what team it is. I've just seen, I think I saw like 6 or 7 this weekend entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel that. That is a good point. As we look forward to the Week 6 college football slate, a few games to talk about. We've also obviously have Tennessee on the bye week, so we'll begin at noon as number 12 Georgia after that loss to Alabama. They dropped to number 12. They will host Kentucky. Georgia minus 20.5, over under 48.5. That game's set to kick off at noon. Do you think Kentucky has any shot at keeping this one close?
I think they do.
Really?
I mean, what have they done the last 2 years against Georgia? They've played them close. And this is at Kentucky, right?
This is at Georgia.
Oh, okay, at Georgia. I think it'll be close, but Georgia will pull away at the end.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think. Yeah, Georgia defeated Kentucky 13-12 at Kroger Field last year. It was 6-3 Kentucky at half, and then 9-6 Kentucky going into the fourth quarter. And Kentucky scored a field goal before Georgia scored a touchdown. That one touchdown gave them a 1-point win. So I don't think that happens again. I think Georgia's probably going to be pissed off. They just lost at home for the first time in, 4 years? Something like that, 3 or 4 years at least. 20.5 is a lot of points, but I may lay those points with Georgia. They've probably got something to prove this week.
Yeah.
One game that before the season started was going to be a big deal. Everybody had their eyes on this one. Also kicking off at noon, Clemson at North Carolina. Clemson minus 13.5, over under 45.5. Do you think Chapel Hill's going to be rocking as the Clemson Tigers come in as the heavy favorites, Griff?
I believe so.
You think 13.5 is too many points?
Yeah, probably I'd say it should be about 6.5, but I'm still going to take North Carolina. It's just Clemson does not.
Clemson's a
have it this
dumpster
year.
fire right now.
Yeah.
They are a dumpster fire. So, I mean, you're favored. I think it was around this same line against Syracuse last week, and Syracuse ended up winning outright. North Carolina doesn't look great. They don't look great at all, but Bill Belichick, Dabo Swinney, I don't know.
Syracuse also last week, well, not last week, 2 days ago, got obliterated by Duke. So, I mean, the ACC entirely doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
But
The one team that has come out as a head and shoulders above the rest in the ACC is Miami, and I don't think there's anybody else that's close. So, yeah, Clemson at North Carolina. I'll probably, I don't like doing this, but I might go North Carolina plus 13.5 in that one. Boise State, your boys, Griff. Boise State at Notre Dame.
I'm worried about this.
That game in South Bend, minus 19.5, over under 64.5 at 3:30.
I'm going to say take the over on that one.
Okay.
But I don't see us. I mean, we did. It's Air Force, but that's who we beat on Saturday. But
It's no Notre Dame.
yeah, give me Notre Dame by 40. I hate to say it.
Oh, jeez.
I hate to say it.
I was hoping you had something else to say about that. But
I mean, they could cover, but I just don't see us having enough firepower to stop that offense.
this might be. I mean, you had Genty last year, but
Yeah.
you think back to early in the season. I think it was week 2 at Oregon. They were able to go in there, make it a dogfight, almost won that game.
Yeah.
So
Well, see, Genty had 230
Yeah.
rushing yards, I think, in that game. So that
yeah,
may
shout
have
out Ashton Genty, by the way, had a breakout game.
He's
I
back.
also called that on Public Fades this week. And we were a missed field goal, a blocked field goal away from going 4-0 on Public Fades this week. So, but yeah, Boise State at Notre Dame, not much to say about that one. But number 7, Penn State, after falling to Oregon, they dropped from number 2 to number 7. Or was it? They were number 3, I think. Penn State at UCLA. Penn State minus 25.5 on the road. UCLA still has not won a game. Over under 50.5 at 3:30 Saturday.
I want to do it, Skyler.
You want to do what?
Nico has the opportunity to do the funniest thing. Oh, my God. You know what?
25.5 though.
Give me UCLA to cover. I don't care. Penn State, fraudulent. I thought Drew Aller was good, and then he threw the worst interception of the week by far. It's just, I don't know. It's just college football is crazy.
It is.
I'm gonna take UCLA.
UCLA at home.
Getting a win.
The Rose Bowl will be rocking with Penn State fans. It'll be more of a West Coast home game for the Nittany Lions this week. But yeah, we mentioned this one. Number 16, Vanderbilt at number 10, Alabama, minus 10.5, over under 43.5 in that one at 3:30. Alabama, revenge game. Big win last week. I don't see them having a hangover after that game against Georgia. That tough win on the road. Now they're back at home, hosting a Vanderbilt team that they should have beat last year, but they lost to, and they're going to be mad about it. That's what I think.
Now, I will say, if Vandy somehow finds a way to win this game, I know Alabama beat Georgia last week, but they would find a way.
Yeah.
They would find a way to get him fired.
DeBoer, you're saying if DeBoer loses this week, he's getting fired?
Yeah. You can't.
Ooh, hot take.
Alabama losing back-to-back to Vandy.
Yeah.
That's never been a thought throughout my entire life.
Well, I didn't think they'd ever lose to Vandy one time, much less 2 in a row. So we'll have to see. Alabama, the pretty big favorite in that one. Vanderbilt's had a great year, but they're getting to a point in their schedule where they're about to have to really figure some things out and find out who they are over the next couple weeks. So also another one at 3:30. I saw where this one might be flexed to Tubi or Fubo or one of those, alternate streaming channels. Number 9, Texas at Florida, plus 7.5 at home for the Florida Gators, 43.5 overall, or over under at 3:30. Texas, the favorite on the road in the swamp. Do you think? I don't know. What do you see happening between this quarterback battle, Arch Manning and DJ Lagway?
I think it'll be close, but part of me wants to think it's going to be an ugly game. Like, one of those 20-13 fourth quarter, late struggles. Yeah. God, part of me wants to take Florida, but I can't. So I'll say Texas is going to cover.
Okay, I might go with Florida in this one, being at home. Arch Manning, I don't think any moment would be necessarily too big for him. I know he struggled a little bit this year. I don't see him going into a hostile environment and getting nervous or scared or anything, playing scared. But Florida, like I said with Vanderbilt, Florida is in the thick of their schedule. They have the toughest schedule. They only have one win on the year. They just had a bye week, though. So they're coming off a bye week. I think Texas might be as well. But big road test for Arch Manning. Big home test for the Florida Gators. I think they keep it within a touchdown, though. So on to 7:30 Saturday night. We got Mississippi State at number 6, Texas A&M, minus 14.5 at home for the Aggies, over under 57.5. That might be an over I'm looking at. 7:30 Saturday night.
See, part of me also, I didn't watch any of the Texas A&M Auburn game, but seeing how low that score was and how bad I think Auburn is as an offense, I might take Mississippi State in an upset to get their first SEC win in 2 years.
Ooh, as a 2-touchdown underdog. Wow.
I mean, they about did it to us.
Yeah, they almost did. I think that line finished up at 8.5, 7.5, something like that. Texas A&M has a very good offense whenever they show up. I'll say that. Marcel Reed is a very dynamic quarterback. They can put up points with the best of them. They didn't necessarily show that last week against Auburn. But Mississippi State, I like to think Tennessee's defense is still pretty good. But if they're able to do to Texas A&M what they did to us offensively, and maybe Texas A&M could score some points as well, I do like that over. Might take Mississippi State on the spread, though. Kyle Field is a tough place to play, however. Yeah. Number 3, Miami at Florida State. Number 18, Miami, minus 4.5 on the road. Over under 54.5 at 7:30 Saturday night.
I'm all for the Vandy Alabama game day. going on next week, but you missed one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And that's the first ranked. Well, I say ranked. There was probably one about 10 years ago between Miami and Florida State, but it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. If Florida State didn't lose to Virginia last week, this would be a top 10 matchup, and they probably would be there. But I think with the headlines and the big spotlight on Vanderbilt and Alabama, this being their first ranked matchup, I think that probably takes the cake in this one, especially since they already have done a Miami game this year.
Yeah.
But Miami at Florida State, -4.5. Give me the Canes. Give me the U. -4.5 at Florida State. Florida State's had a great year, but I think they're fraudulent. And I think this is not a prove it game for Miami, but whenever Miami goes into Doak Walker Stadium, Tallahassee, Florida, on a Saturday night, they're going to show to everybody that after they beat Florida State by 2 or 3 touchdowns, they're going to show everybody that Florida State is a fraud, Miami is the real deal. That's what I'm thinking.
The Stars are going to be out.
The Stars will be out for sure. So let's go back over the NFL slate from yesterday. We got a couple games tonight, Griff. Your Bengals in Denver. How you feeling?
Like we gonna lose.
Like you gonna lose. Not sure if I'll add this to my public fades for the weekend, but I might be rocking with Cincinnati.
We'll have some fire under our belt, hopefully, after having the worst loss in franchise history last week. You got to show me something, because unless y'all get it together in time for Joe to get back, we're going to miss the playoffs again. And then I know you know how I feel about Zach Taylor, but
yeah,
it's a struggle. But I think it'll be close. Denver's offense has been a little wonky to start the year off.
Yeah. So
I think it's going to be one of those 23-17, 20-27 type games towards the end of the game.
Okay. Do you think T. Higgins gets in the end zone? I kind of need that to happen tonight.
Yeah, I also need that to happen for my fantasy team. T, get it together, dog. You got that dog in you. I know you can do it. It's just play like you care.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Starting off Thursday night football, it was the Seahawks on the road to Arizona, coming out with a last-second field goal victory, 23-20. Seattle absolutely dominated that whole game, it seemed like, and then left the back door open for the Cardinals, who tied it up at the end before Seattle was – well, Arizona actually on the kickoff, they kicked the ball, didn't reach the landing zone, so the Seahawks got the ball at their own 40 and only had to go like 20, 30 yards to kick a field goal. So anyways, I'm sure the kicker was, pun intended, kicking himself after that one. The Steelers in Ireland took home the win against the Vikings 24-21 yesterday morning. And then Falcons defeated the Commanders 34-27. Giants over the Chargers. Jackson Dart got his first start and provided a spark.
And Caucasian Crusaders are back.
Jackson Dart, I might be riding with him over the next couple weeks. They got the Saints this weekend. I think it might be on the road. But Giants, I said the Chargers, one of the best teams in the NFL. Jackson Dart got his first start, and the Chargers were favored on the road, -6.5. And this was one of my public fades where I was just like, I don't know. I think the Giants get something going. Didn't necessarily see them winning the ball game, but they were able to do just that. Titans really, I don't know what to say about the Titans. 26-0 loss against the Houston Texans. So they got to get something figured out. They got to get Callahan out of there. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's not much to say. Not much to say.
Being a Bengals fan, I do appreciate Brian Callahan, but he just, year 2, he ain't getting nothing done.
He's not. And I feel bad for Cam Ward out there.
Yeah.
The Eagles defeated the Buccaneers on the road 31-25 yesterday. The Panthers fell to the Patriots 42-13. Bills over the Saints. This was the other public fade of the 1 o'clock slate, Bills won 31-19. Saints covered 16.5. Way too many points, way too much money on Buffalo in that one. The Lions took care of the Browns at home 34-10. That one was not even close. Jaguars on the road as the underdog. 49ers were minus 3.5 point favorites. Jags win 26-21. The Rams and Colts. Did you see that game yesterday?
I saw a good portion of it, actually. That might be, oh Lord, what's his name? I can't even remember the wide receiver's name.
Puka Nacua.
No, well, Puka balled out.
He absolutely did.
What was it, 182 that he had receiving?
He had a crazy day. Who are you referring to?
The Colts wide receiver that had an absolute...
The fumble?
Yeah, the fumble. He had a hell of a
Adonai
touchdown.
Mitchell.
And just... You can't switch hands. You were going into the end zone, dude.
Yeah. The Colts fell 27-20 to the Rams in Los Angeles yesterday. The Bears picked up a victory on the road, 25-24 over Las Vegas. That was a public fade, the only one that didn't hit. The Raiders were minus 1.5 point favorites. They would have covered on that last-second field goal if it wasn't blocked. We were one blocked field goal away from going perfect yesterday. Didn't see that one happening. I was somewhere watching the game with my friend, and the Bears scored a touchdown to go up 25-24, and I told him, I was like, watch, they're going to miss this 2-point conversion. The Raiders are going to get the ball back. There's enough time for them to get down the field, and they're going to win on a field goal, and the public's going to lose their money because everybody had the Bears plus 1.5, and because it got blocked there on that last play, the Bears won by 1 point. I was sick. I was sick.
Hey, these NFL special teams coaches,
Yeah.
I don't know, what is that, like the 8th blocked field goal now?
The Packers had one too, but we'll get to that in a second.
Y'all need to
Get it figured out.
Quit walking through practice, man. Put the pads on.
The Chiefs with a huge win over Baltimore, dropping the Ravens to 1-3 on the year. 37-20 was the final yesterday. Kansas City with a big win at home as the underdog. The Ravens were favored minus 2.5. Most of the public money was on Baltimore, and the Chiefs pretty much owned the game. I wouldn't say from start to finish because Baltimore came out and scored very quickly. It looked like they were just going to have their way with the Chiefs defense, and Lamar went out at some point with a hamstring injury, so hopefully he's able to continue this year and doesn't miss a whole lot of time. But when you start out 1-3, I mean, you got to get something going right now. You can't rely on backup Cooper Rush at this point in the season already. Sunday Night Football last night, Packers-Cowboys tied at 40. Tied at 40. Green Bay scores a touchdown early. Romeo Doubs stops the Cowboys 2 straight drives, 3 and outs, pretty much. Score another touchdown to go up 13-0. And as we said, special teams. Kick a field goal or kick the extra point. It gets blocked. Dallas returns it all the way for a touchdown to make the score 13-2. And if it wasn't for that, Green Bay would have, with however things, if they played out the exact same, Green Bay would have had a 3-point victory there at the end of regulation. But no, we go to overtime and we tie it up. Yeah. I've already said what I wanted to say about the debauchery, whatever you want to call it, that happened there at the end. Shout out Jordan Love. Let's go look at his stats. He had a crazy game. Dak had a crazy game as well. Jordan Love, 31 of 43, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Josh Jacobs, 22 carries, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns as well. He extends his streak to, I think, 12 games now, which he's already passed the franchise record of 12 games now in a row with a rushing touchdown. Dak Prescott, 31 of 40, 319 through the air, 3 touchdowns. Javonte Williams, 20 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. George Pickens had a crazy game. 8 catches, 134 yards, and 2 touchdown passes. Has some crazy catches as well. George Pickens is a dog. Green Bay is now 2-1-1. Dallas is 1-2-1. And as the game was on Peacock last night, I stayed up and watched all the post game, and the Cowboys looked like they won, and the Packers looked like they lost. And I think that's the mentality difference between these two teams. We did not win, so we lost, is what I'm taking from that. But as we move forward into week now 5 of the NFL, already, week 5 of the NFL. I've already taken a look at some of the lines and where the money's at, so stay tuned for Public Fade's week 5 NFL best bets coming Friday night. I record those on Thursday and try to do it right for the people. Thursday night football, 49ers at the Rams, -5.5 for Los Angeles. Then we start in, London on Sunday morning. The Vikings staying overseas, so they should be well adjusted.
That's disrespectful right there.
Yeah, the Vikings 2 games in a row overseas. Vikings against the Browns, Minnesota -3.5 early Sunday morning. Then kicking off at the 1 o'clock slate, Texans at the Ravens, Baltimore -3.5. I'll have to see how the injury report for Baltimore comes out with Lamar Jackson. The Giants off their first win of the season at the winless New Orleans Saints. Saints are the favorites in that game. That's interesting. That is interesting.
I mean, I'd like to see Kellen Moore get a win, but this Saints team is so bad.
Yeah. Well, they did their job yesterday and covered for me, so I don't mind that. Dolphins at the Panthers, 1 o'clock Sunday. Dolphins, the pick'em favorite on the road. Looks like a lot of the money's with Carolina in that one. The Raiders at the Colts, Indianapolis -7. -7 against the Genty Raiders. Genty had a crazy game. Let me go. I meant to read his
Gino's
stats.
got to protect the ball better.
Agreed.
Some of those interceptions, what was it, 3 or 4 he had that just
3 interceptions yesterday.
throws.
He leads the league in interceptions by far. Ashton Genty, 21 carries, 138 yards on the ground, and a touchdown. Receiving, he had 2 catches, 17 yards for 2 touchdowns. Genty with 3 on the day. So I like the Raiders. The Colts are one of the most impressive teams, surprising teams, I'll say. One of the most surprising teams. But a tough loss yesterday to the Rams. Now they're back at home in the Ladd House as the Raiders come to town, and I think Ashton Genty is going to have another big day. Broncos at the Eagles at 1 o'clock. Philadelphia -4.5 point favorites. What do you think about this Eagles team?
See, I watched a good bit of the first half of that game yesterday between the Buccaneers and Eagles, and it was weird. It just seemed like every mistake the Buccaneers could make in that first half they made.
Yeah.
Giving up that block punt right at the start of the game. Eagles are scary lucky. I hate to say it.
Yeah. And they won that game with Jalen Hurts not completing a single pass in the second half. He had 0 yards passing, 0 completions in total in that second half, and they still won. So, yeah. Eagles gonna eagle, I guess. Cowboys at the Jets on Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, -2.5 on the road for Dallas. I like the Cowboys in that one. I like the Cowboys in that spot. Titans at the Cardinals, -9.5 for Arizona. This is a game where the Titans got to get something going. They can't just keep getting blown out every week. They can't. Callahan's got to go if they do, in my humble opinion. Buccaneers at the Saints, 4 o'clock, just like the Titans and Cardinals at 4 o'clock. We're into the late afternoon slate. Seahawks host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, -3 for Seattle. Then we got at 4:30, Chargers host the Commanders, -3 for LA. Did Jaden Daniels play this weekend? I don't think he did he?
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think he did.
He fell to Atlanta. So maybe he's on his way back. If he is, I might like the Commanders +3. If he's not, give me the Chargers all day. Tough one next week, Griff. I know you got your eyes set on tonight. Okay, you got your eyes set on tonight. But next week you host the Detroit Lions. Detroit -8.5 already. 96% of the money is on Detroit.
I might also put some money on Detroit.
Oh goodness.
No, I'm kidding. But
I don't have to.
It's not looking good.
I don't have to say anything for everybody to know that we're going the Bengals next week. 96% of the money. That's the most I've seen since I've started that series. Sunday Night Football next week. Patriots at the Buffalo Bills.
That'll be a good one.
-8.5 for Buffalo. I bet the Patriots keep it closer than that.
Yeah.
And then Monday Night Football, Chiefs at the Jaguars, -3 for Kansas City. So that is the Week 5 slate of NFL. Griff, do you have any final thoughts as we wrap up episode 42, $1 Million Radio?
I gotta mention it. So
Go ahead.
Yesterday, my Reds, we lost in the final game of the season to the Milwaukee Brewers, but we got lucky. The Miami Marlins, they went out and they beat the pants off the Mets. So my Cincinnati Reds, for the first time in 5 years, Skylar, are in the MLB playoffs.
Hey, shout out. Shout out.
First time with fans in the crowd since 2013. It's a great time to be a Cincinnati Red, I'm telling you. Now we got to go play the Dodgers this week. 3 games, all in LA, because that's how they do the wild card now. But I'm going to say Reds in 3. Then we'll go on to play the Phillies, where we'll take down the Phillies.
Okay.
And then we'll play the Brewers again, where we'll take down Milwaukee.
Okay.
And we're going to the World Series, baby.
All right. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Griffin with the hopefully the call of the century, if that happens. Do you have any a song choice of the week, $1 Million Radio song of the week, Griff?
I do, and it's going to be Don't Stop Dancing by Creed.
Don't Stop Dancing by Creed. What a pull. I like that one. I'm going to go with Bad Omens. They released a song called Spectre not too long ago. Oh, I'm actually playing it right now. Didn't mean to do that.
Whoops.
Yeah, Spectre came out early August, so it's been out for a little bit now. I've gotten more into Bad Omens again as I've started going to the gym again, Griff. Started going to the gym, trying to get these gains going, trying to get strong for the pod. You know, maybe not. I mean, whatever. But yeah, Spectre, Bad Omens is my $1 Million Radio song of the week. As we wrap up episode 42, $1 Million Radio. Tennessee's got a bye week, but we got a lot going on this weekend. UFC 320 is this weekend. Me and Kyle are going to get back together and make a video for you guys. That'll probably come out Friday. Also, Public Fade's coming out Friday. And might try to keep going live on Saturday nights and, you know, post games and stuff like that. So stay tuned, $1 Million Radio. Go check out our website, mdminds.com, mdminds.com. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that on socials at mdminds. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. If you've made it this far in the episode, you might as well. Because you must have liked what you heard. You must have liked what you saw. So hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching, everybody. Episode 42, $1 Million Radio. And as always, we'll see you next time.